In this video, we will see one of the 5 CPKC America 250 locomotives lead CPKC 246, an eastbound manifest from St. Paul, Minnesota to Bensenville, Illinois. We will also see a BNSF H2 and the Heritage 2 paint scheme light powered into the Portage yard. Don't go anywhere as we're just getting started on this day of Reelfit. We hope you enjoy. Good morning. It is April 23rd, 2026, 7:48 a.m. And what probably is the 4th time this year I'm up early for a train on the CPKC. We were out to catch CPKC train 246, which is an eastbound manifest from St. Paul, Minnesota to Bensenville, Illinois. Typically, this manifest is ran during the early hours of the day, and without proper planning, I find it very difficult to catch. Anyway, if you ask what is special about today's 246, well, it consisted of one of the 5 CPKC ET44ACs painted into the America 250 livery. Each locomotive is numbered to represent the 250th anniversary of U.S. Independence Day, and also the current year it has taken place on. The 250th locomotive leading today's 246 is KCS 704, which represents July 4th. The cool thing about these locomotives is that they make you pay close attention to detail, as you can find many nods to the U.S. history. Continuing on as the second in the consist is CP4445, ARCO and Ex Soo GP38-2. And third on the consist is CP6017, a rebuild ST40-2. We watch CPKC 246 as it goes through the Industrial Road Railroad crossing and continues its journey into the CPKC Portage yard. Enjoy! After the DPU of 246 cleared the crossing, which was AC44CWM CP8138, I look back west of the tracks and I see another train approaching, and my first initial thought was that traffic was backed up, but I found out that this was a light power move heading back east to the yard. These two locomotives consisted of BNSF 4126, a Dash 9 in a H2 paint scheme, and CP 8162, another CP AC44CWM. We would watch this duel at the crossing before we would head east to watch it arrive into the yard. At the yard, we would watch BNSF 4126 and CP 8162 pull into the yard as they would eventually get put on the house track. Not very often you get to see locomotives being put on the house track, which I thought was pretty neat, so I thought I would document this moment.
Portage house track to line check reverse Frederick. Got the line to ice house track. 0 non drilling position Frederick. Good for 20, bring it back to 0.
Stand Portage house track, check reverse Frederick's back. Good for 20.
The house track is mainly used for dropping off excess power that would be used for adding more power to other trains, and used to assemble sand trains, which, located west of Portage, Wisconsin, there are 2 sand plants, one in Oakdale, Wisconsin, and one in Sparta, Wisconsin. As I was about to finish this video, I go through each of the footage I captured during this day, and I want you to listen closely to what was said on the scanner as they were about to back up the power into the house track.
663, Portage house track to line check reverse Frederick. Got the line to ice house track. 0 non drilling position Frederick. Good for 20, bring it back to 0.
So it turns out that this train was CPKC 663, an eastbound empty sand train that either originated from Kansas City, Missouri, or Alliance, Texas from BNSF, which I'm guessing that's where it came from, as it must have dropped off its cars in either Sparta or Oakdale, which I find pretty interesting. This is why you don't miss out on key information, and I'm lucky my scanner caught that. Anyway, back to the main video. It's unclear as to where these 2 locomotives originated from, but if I had to guess, they were on a westbound empty sand train and dropped off the cars at one of these locations. It's not too often you get to see a BNSF Dash 9 on a different railroad though, so I wanted to get some good opportunities at documenting.
Alright, 17,
There you go.
We are now east of Portage, Wisconsin, at the Portage Junction, as we catch CPKC 246 departing the yard. During when I was documenting the light power move, 246 was working the yard and removed CP 6017 from the consoles, which would later be used for ballast and local service around the area. But anyways, I decided to give one last photo and video opportunity of the shiny KCS 704 leading 246 before I would conclude this fun day trackside. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video and have a blessed day. Bye! unclear as to where these two locomotives originated from, but if I had to guess, they were on a westbound sand train and dropped off the cars at one of these locations. It's not too often you get to see a BNSF Dash 9 on a different railroad though, so I thought I would get some good opportunities. It's unclear as to where these two locomotives originated from, but if I had to guess, they were dropped on a westbound. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and you have a